Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here and training camp is finally here. So in today's video, I'll be recapping day one of the Washington Commanders training camp, talking about the biggest plays and the biggest takeaways. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well. And I do have a little bit of a different background. I am on vacation, but should be good. Let's get right into it. So a lot to talk about today. First day of training camp. We'll talk about injuries first, nothing major, but Deron Payne was not practicing today because of a minor toe injury. They said he's day to day, so probably, will be there either next practice or the practice after that, but nothing major. Everyone yesterday passed their physical, so that is a good sign for sure. And speaking of, injuries, Chase Young did not have a brace. And John Keim said his get off looks good. No stutter stepping. Big key for him, allows him to maintain power with his hands. So I think that is absolutely huge. And here I will show you guys a clip. And I did post highlights from day one on my channel, probably an hour before this video, goes out. So go ahead and check that out after this video. But you guys can see there, no brace, just doing some stretching before, practice starts. And he's there with Montez Sweat, looks his usual self. And looks energized, and it's good to see him without that brace on. And hopefully this year is a big year for him. We need him to ball out this year. We absolutely need Chase Young to show us that he was worth a second overall draft pick. Because if he does, he's going to get paid, and he's going to be on this team for a long time. Because I'm sure he wants to be on this team because he's from the DMV, near his hometown, and also. The Commanders want him as well because they did invest a second overall pick in him. So I think the new ownership will definitely extend him if he does well. And let's see, some other things. Forbes looks like he had a pretty good day. Maybe got beat initially, but he had a nice recovery and had a nice PBU, covering Pringle, who had, the ball briefly on the pass from Howell. Forbes knocked it loose before Pringle could secure it. So, Forbes might get beat sometimes, but his closing speed is really good and allows him to, bait the quarterback a little bit. And, that allowed him right there to get the PBU. No interceptions on day one that I saw, but overall looks like he had a pretty good day. And, I think he's going to have a really good year for the Commanders. I think he's going to have some interceptions, but a lot of PBUs, a lot of them. So, Pringle already playing, he already knows the offense, which is good. I think he has a shot to make it. Like, he probably has an edge over someone like Dax Milne, honestly, over Marcus Kemp as well, because Pringle has, he's done a lot more in terms of, offensively at least, than Byron Pringle. And I think Byron Pringle's done a lot more offensively than Marcus Kemp. And I think he's done a little bit more on special teams as well in terms of returning, but Kemp's also good as a gunner. But there's a big play from Forbes on the day, and this is just a little bit of recap from Matthew Paris. I like to go through all of them. He talked about Chase Young not wearing the brace. He said, offensive line depth talk. Tyler Larson is the second team center. Obviously, Nick Gates is the first one, is the first team center, and Ricky Stromberg is third team. And then Cornelius Lucas is on the right side behind Wiley, and it's Trent Scott on the left side behind Lennell. So that left tackle depth is not great. And I don't know, they might need to sign someone, or we'll see what happens. And then he talked about, he wants to see how the screen game looks in the regular season, but it's a night and day difference so far in OTAs and training camp on how it looked, versus last year with Scott Turner. So yeah, just that's great to see. I think the screen game will be a huge part of the Commanders' offense this year, and I think they got some guys that will be able to, on the offensive side of the ball, that will be able to execute it properly. And Gibson and, Andrew Wiley, guys like that. Sam Cosmi is going to be athletic. That'll help out a ton. Maybe even Sadiq Charles as well. Well, let's keep going. This is from Lake Lewis. Sam Howell is sharp on the first day of camp, quick decision making, and his deep ball when thrown has been pinpoint. He really looks comfortable in the pocket. So, I'm not a believer yet, like Professor Guru there says, but I am feeling better and better. And, I'm not going to be, feel super confident until he gets, out there on the field in the regular season and continues to ball out. And not even after the first week. It's going to have to be multiple weeks. But I am optimistic, and I feel better about how than I did about Wentz. Yeah, we'll just have to see with Howell, but so far, day one, looks like he had a really solid day. Nothing crazy, no like big plays that I saw, but no interceptions when the other quarterbacks had a combined 4 interceptions. So he looks good. He's going to be the starter this year, at least start off the season. If he continues, if he's plays well during the regular season, then he could be the starter for much more than just the start of this season. So really like what we've seen from Howell this offseason in terms of his maturity, being a little bit of a leader. He didn't organize the meetup in Florida, but he definitely was a leader down there. And then again, just so far the performance has been pretty solid in OTAs, mini camp, and now training camp day one looks good. Again, got to keep it going in the regular season or in the preseason and the regular season as well. But I'm excited to see what Sam Howell can do. And then let's see any other tweets. Defenders with interceptions today. Terrell Burgess had 1. DJ Sturgis had another. I think that was on Jake Fromm. And then Christian Holmes, 7th round pick last year at Oklahoma State. And then Farrod Gardner all had interceptions. And I think 3 of them were on Jacoby Brissett, and 1 of them was on Jake Fromm. So Sam Howell again did not have a single interception. Let's go through the plays of the day. Plays of the day / takeaways. So Zach Selby says, Bieniemy already in the zone today. Just yelled at players not to slow down, and every play is live. It's work time. Howell had a nice strike to Dotson, and defense thought they had a fumble, but it wasn't. Howell follows up the pass to Dotson with a rainbow to Gibson. And again, I wish I was able to be there and give you guys my actual reporting, but not able to be there until, kind of early to mid-August. And once I'm there, I'll be able to give you guys my play-by-play. But until then, it's Zach Selby, and I forgot to say it earlier, but shout out to all the beat reporters for giving us the great reporting, and, tomorrow and the next days, the fans as well. Let's see. Nice job by Curl covering McLaurin. Good ball placement, but just out of his reach because of Curl's coverage. And then really nice throw and catch from Howell to McLaurin, who had Forbes all over him. So, good to see McLaurin get the best of Forbes, but Forbes being right there so that, if you're right there, McLaurin against the other receivers you're going to have to go against, you'll be just fine. And then St. Juice and Curtis Samuel had a great battle for the ball. Howell played, had perfect ball placement, but St. Juice was able to knock it away. We talked about DJ Sturgis getting interception. Brian Robinson had a great catch, made an over-the-shoulder catch near the sideline with perfect ball placement from Sam Howell. We talked about Terrell Burgess getting another pick, but bounced off John Bates' shoulder pad. Brissett was a QB on the play, so maybe not necessarily his fault there. And then, Logan Thomas had a nice catch off of Howell with force in coverage. And again, these in training camp, maybe less than mini camp and OTAs, but you're going to see some more interceptions than usual. These quarterbacks, not only are they taking more risks, but they're not necessarily on the same page with all the receivers, tight ends, and running backs. And then we talked about the PBU. Christian Holmes, we got the pick off him, and that's kind of it for the big plays. I believe, right now they're doing press conferences, and Josh Harris was at practice today, so that's great to see him there. Let's look at through some of the Rivera, press conference points. He said Chase Young showed he's ready to roll. Rivera is pleased with practice today, and he thought the quarterbacks did some good things, and he's excited for the development as camp progresses. And that's kind of it for it. But today overall, nothing crazy happened, but good to see Chase Young looking good out there. And Logan Thomas also doesn't have the brace. I mean, that was to be expected. He did recover before Chase Young did. But again, good to see that. And then Sam Howell looks good. Maybe Jacoby Brissett struggling a little bit, but that's fine for one day. If it continues over a week or two, that's when you're like, okay, maybe this is an actual thing. But right now, no. Jamin Davis was good to go. Everyone was good to go except for, looks like, Deron Payne. But everyone passed their physical yesterday, which is great. And then in terms of, defenders that played well, I guess, Benjamin St. Juice had a nice play. Emmanuel Forbes did as well. And then some, lower tier guys had some nice interceptions. And, those things go a long way in terms of making the roster. Those cornerbacks are going to have those, lower guys back into the roster. Guys are going to have to compete because, these plays are huge for them because we already know, like, St. Juice, Kendall Fuller, why am I missing the other guy? Emmanuel Forbes, Quan Martin, those guys are making it. And then Danny Johnson. So you got like 1 or 2 more guys. And yeah, over the next couple of days, we'll get more and more. We're going to get more takeaways. I'll give you guys the guys that stood out during training camp. But man, I'm excited. Day 1's over. Again, if you didn't check it out, go ahead and watch the highlights from day 1 on, from my other videos. Some people get upset that I don't post all the highlights on here. So, I'm posting it there. So if you guys want to go ahead and see it, go ahead. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.